Smell it in there.
Hey everybody, this is MVP Tiffany. I am going to go ahead and get started because we're right at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, according to my watch here. So I see we have a few people on. Can you guys raise your hands if you can hear me, just so we make sure that my microphone's working properly? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so JC 101, thank you all for jumping on this webinar. It will be also recorded, so if you need to go back and reference anything, you can. Feel free to use the chat or the questions sections if you have any questions as we're going along. Otherwise, hopefully we will answer all of your questions that you are thinking about now, and we will have some time at the end too to go through any other questions that maybe come up after the end. So we'll go ahead and get started. I wanted to give you guys the information. This is the contact information for Membership Development Coordinator Justin Wutsky. And Justin helped develop this webinar and also is in charge of a lot of the membership stuff that we'll hear about on this webinar. So please feel free to reach out to him anytime. So we're going to start with mission, vision, values, some benefits. We'll go through structure and programming and then kind of talk a little bit more on how Jaycees can help you and how you can get the best out of your membership. So mission, vision, and values, I'm guessing that most of you have heard this, so we'll go over it and just kind of hit the high points. Our mission, in case you have not seen this, is to provide development opportunities that empower young people to create positive change. So with our mission, all of our actions as members and as chapters and as states should remain true to our mission. We need to be positive, empower, and have a lot of fun. If we're not having fun, if we're not feeling like we're empowered, then we need to rethink what we're doing and see how we can rethink it to do it better. Our vision is to be the leading global network of young, active citizens. And if we follow our mission and continue to empower young people across the world to make positive change, then we will be living up to our vision and truly be the leading global network. And to us, that sounds like a pretty amazing thing, and we hope it sounds like a beautiful world to you too. So our values is our creed, and I would guess that a lot of you are familiar with this as well, but our creed is not meant to be taken literally. Our creed means something a little bit different to everyone else. We're all going to interpret it differently. Faith in humanity, or faith in God giving meaning and purpose to human life, is a faith in something bigger than ourselves. The brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, is working together as a team, a friend, and a global community member. Economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise, shows that we need freedom and to be empowered to create enterprise and innovation. Government should be of laws rather than of men, is that laws should be through democracy versus individuals reigning power over individuals. Earth's great treasure lies in human personality, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. So we have a couple of websites that everyone should access if you haven't already. If you have any questions that as we go through this again, please feel free to put those in the chat or the questions. But we're going to talk a little bit about our websites. I want to give you a few numbers first, though, for 2018 in our membership plan. Our plan is to retain 65% of our members nationally in 2018, which amounts to 7,890 individuals. It is very possible for us to hit this number of 65% retention if we continue working to build relationship. Our recruitment goal is 4,350 new members. To break that down a little bit, if 1/3 of our membership was to recruit just one member in the year of 2018, that hits our goal of 4,350. So when you break it down that way and think that only 1/3 of our membership needs to recruit one person, I think that sounds super doable. We need to share our great organization and show our communities that young people truly do care about making a difference. So we're going to talk about jcmember.com for a minute. Again, if you'd use that hands up thing, how many of you have logged on to jcmember.com before? Everybody, fantastic. Okay, so you've already gone through some of this. So the forgot your password is how you set up, but if you've all logged in, you've got that done. The profile. So this is also really important. I moved and about a year later realized that I had never updated my profile, so I was not getting some information from our state organization. So if you have not gone through and checked your own profile for a while, you might want to go in and look at that. You also might want to look at your birthday to make sure that that was entered accurately. Sometimes that can make a difference for a number of things, and there are ways that you can change that, but it's just good to go in and make sure that all of your information here is accurate. This is also where you go in to update your passport. We'll talk a little bit more about Passport later, but Passport is a really great tool to use as individuals to make sure that you're getting the most out of your membership. Here's where we talk about Passport. So if you haven't done this yet, all you need to do is go through when you have attended a new member orientation, for example, you can go through, click that one and hit submit. Those all go to your chapter presidents, and then the chapter president will approve those. So if you have any questions or if you have a bunch of them that are out pending, just talk to your chapter president and ask them to approve those. And typically that is a pretty easy thing to do. So all 10 of the degrees are on jcmember.com. You don't have to complete them in order, and you don't have to complete your first degree before moving on to your second degree. So anything, if you go to a new member orientation and then the next week you are a committee member on a chapter project, but you have not actually met with your chapter president to recite the mission, vision, and creed, you can still check off those things in the second degree. So that is how you enter your passport information. So we get a lot of questions about a JC app. We do not have an app right now. So if you go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, you will not see an app. However, when we recreated the jcmember.com website a couple of years ago, it was intended to be mobile responsive, which means that you can use it as an app. You can bookmark it if you want to have that way, or add it to your home screen, so that you can use it as an app because it is that interactive. So JCIUSA.org, this one is also fairly new. How many of you, using that hands up again, have logged into the new JCIUSA.org website? A couple, okay. So the new JCIUSA.org is a little bit different. One thing that you will notice is that if you were used to the old website, there was some information that you could access without logging in. The new website, you must log in first to get to pretty much any member-specific information. So you'll want to go in and get that login set up. Then once you've logged in, all of this information that you'll see in gray on the left to the left of the photo, that is all of your organization's specific information. So that'll show what country you belong to. You can go in and see your chapter, things like that. And then you're going to be able to go to the next steps of seeing the JCI USA information from there. So this is kind of a cool little page. If you would like to go in, you can search other members of the organization, and this is where you can update your own profile. You can put in a picture like Justin shows us here, that he has his lovely face entered on his profile. And then you can update all of your other information here as well. And this is our library tab. So you need to go to your organization will come up, but you would have to find the USA folder under national and local organizations, and then you can get into all of this library information that you may need to access at some point or want to access at some point. So we're going to talk about some of the more tangible membership benefits. I think we all know that there are a lot of really intangible benefits that you get as a member of this organization, from the stealth leadership skills, I like to call it, of sharing projects that give you skills as varied as project management and writing profit loss statements and managing volunteers, some things that we don't necessarily realize we're doing when we're doing them, but we want to talk about some of the more tangible benefits that we can use to help recruit and keep our retention high. So all of these benefits are accessible through the jciusa.org page when you get into that USA folder. So we'll go through some of this more specifically a little bit later on, but I do want to point out over on the right-hand side, that is where our partnerships are set up. So there are some discounts that you can use as a member of our organization for hotels and for rental cars and things like that. So make sure you go in and check that out and let your members know that they have access to that as members. So structure and programming. We have lots of really great opportunities to access some really great programming, but I think it's important to see how the structure goes. So you, as an individual member of this organization, are the most important part of our organization. Our members, our organization would not exist without our members. So we think the member is the most important, and everyone is, as members, most important. And one thing that I have heard discouraged quite a lot is saying, I am only a member. No one is only a member because we don't exist without you. So then you have your chapter. That's where you can do the most with your community and get really involved and really get your boots on the ground. Then you have your state organizations. So you can work together with your state president and other members of your state to create some really great excitement. Then you have your country. So your JCI USA, your national president and executive team, as well as your state president, are all on the national board. And the executive team is always here to help and answer any questions that you might have. And then you have your international level. So world president, the executive team for international, and then your national president serves on the board of directors for that as well. So opportunities, we have some conferences and conventions and some other great trainings. There are 4 leadership training universities that just wrapped up at the beginning of this year and will happen at the beginning of every year. Those are really great opportunities to get some more training on how to be a really great leader in your organization and in your personal endeavors. Then we have the Advocacy Summit. This is held in March and is with our partner, Nothing But Nets. There are typically grants available that can help individuals attend this event. Those grants typically go towards the hotel for the event, and the member is usually responsible for getting themselves to DC. This is one of the best opportunities that you can take as a member to really experience some great additional leadership skills. You get to go to Capitol Hill and you get to meet and talk to your congressman and get some really great tips on advocating. And there's always really great speakers. So definitely something to check out. I do know that the Advocacy Summit for 2018 is full. So this is something that you'd want to start considering for 2019. We have 2 conventions every year, the year-end convention and our annual meeting. So in April, our convention will be held at Myrtle Beach in a hotel on the beach, where we will get to celebrate our awards for 2017, and we will have our board of directors meeting and some fantastic trainings at that one. I will mention that the regular registration cost for Myrtle Beach, or regular registration deadline for Myrtle Beach, is at the end of this week. So if that's something you're considering, you want to get on and get registered right away, because the cost will go up to late registration next week. So Myrtle Beach sounds like it's going to be a really awesome event. So make sure you're considering that. The annual meeting in September will be held in Denver, Colorado. That annual meeting will, of course, be our meeting of the organization, as well as holding elections, competitions, and our 10 Outstanding Young Americans Awards. This is the 80th anniversary of the 10 Outstanding Young Americans, so pretty awesome that that project has been going on for so long. And Toya, if you have not attended, is always one of the most inspiring events that you can go to as a member. So definitely keep Denver in your thoughts too. So programming, we talked a little bit about Passport to Civic Leadership. This is your individual guide map for how to succeed as a member. There are project management guides, which many of your chapters probably utilize really well. Some chapters I know are a little bit hesitant because it can seem a little bit overwhelming based on the length and things like that. But I will say that this is a really great way to be able to pass down information from project chair to project chair so that everyone can communicate really well and everyone can continue to be successful. So definitely something, even if you don't use them a lot for bigger projects, I would recommend using them. Although I personally would recommend using them for all of your projects. If you don't use them for some of the smaller ones, I would definitely say using those for the bigger ones is a great benefit. Your civic leadership certification, your chapters and states can use this as a roadmap of what they need to do. For the most part, your chapters and states are probably going to already be doing this, but this is a great checklist of making sure that there's not something you're missing or making sure it's getting done by the deadlines that are set for some of those things. Your plan of action is a part of what is helpful for your success for the chapter or state, but also your plan of action is a piece of the civic leadership certification. So something that you want to put together if you are a part of the board of directors of your chapter. If you are not a part of the board of directors for your chapter or your state, maybe ask if there is a plan of action and see if that is something that you can review and get a better idea of what your board of directors has decided is the plan and the direction for your chapter for the year. So Shoot for Success is another program that your chapters can use. This is a membership-driven program. So this is something that you can use for helping your chapter to grow with membership. So some more programming, there are JCI trainings. These are specific trainings that were developed by the the International Junior Chamber and are for our membership. There are personal and professional development, and then there are some that are specific to Jaycees. Awards and competitions, if you have not been a part of the awards and competitions process, this is something that happens typically at the state level, and then you can move on to the national or sometimes even area and international awards. We have several of our winners from the St. Louis convention who are going to be competing at Conference of the Americas in Miami, and were they to win at that level, would be able to go on and compete in Goa, India at World Congress. So this is a really great way to help motivate and develop your skills as a speaker or as a writer. And there is a new award that was, or I'm sorry, a new competition that was just rolled out called the You're Hired competition that I think is super exciting. So if you're interested in a portfolio kind of competition, helping you develop your resume and interview skills, then reach out to your state president. They have the information on this new competition that will be held in Denver. Advocacy, we talked a little bit about this with the summit, but there is a lot of great advocacy opportunities through UNICEF and Nothing But Nets to call your representatives and make sure that they know where you stand as an individual and as a member of our organization. There are Engage 300 events where you can call on the same day as members from across the nation. There are advocacy opportunities for you to go in and meet with members of your meet with your representatives in your states when sometimes there are national visitors in your state. So make sure you're talking to your state leadership for that too, if that's something you're interested in. Peace is Possible is a global movement meant to help us recognize that peace truly is possible and how much we're all working towards that. And then 10 Outstanding Young Americans, which, as I mentioned, is a super empowering evening to recognize those 10 outstanding young Americans. And there are some spotlights going out on the JCI USA social media sites that will give you the information on some of our past winners and what they're doing now. There are also these webinars that you're on now, so thank you for being here and for joining us for this webinar. The webinars are typically held on the third Wednesday and the fourth Thursday. There's lots of really great topics. You can check out those topics again on the social media, or since you're here with us, you will have seen that you can go on and register for these webinars. You can also access past webinars by going to the JCI USA YouTube page and find some of those videos there. So the JCI USA Member Learning Center is super exciting. This is something we just rolled out at the LTUs and has just gone live. So there are some great learning modules on recruitment. There's local officer trainings for your local chapter president and for local chapter internal vice presidents. These are self-led, so you can do them at your own pace, but the system will help you remember that you're in the middle of your training. And so if you go for a while without having logged in to do the next step of your training, the system will remind you, hey, you got things that you can still learn from us. So this is a really exciting opportunity for folks to be able to get some of the training that maybe they're not able to attend based on distance or things like that, that they can use this learning center that was just rolled out. So super exciting new training opportunity. So our member experience is really all based on our state of mind. We can choose to be positive, we need to choose to have fun, and make connections with like-minded individuals and make the world a better place together. Some of your JC friendships and relationships will be lifelong, and it's super exciting to meet those people in a like-minded way and to be able to make those changes to our world. And making sure that we are shifting our perspective. So you are a member of this organization, not a volunteer. We are leaders, and we are desiring to improve our own lives. So think of your annual dues like a gym membership. So you go to the gym to improve your health. You come to JC's to improve your skill sets, enrich your life, better your community, and have amazing friendship experiences. So take full advantage. You are empowered to bring questions, ideas, and thoughts. So if there's something that you really want to see happen, you can make it happen. Bring that to your chapter, bring that to your state, see how that can happen for you. Your experience is up to you as JCs and as members. And I think that's a really exciting way for us to be able to recruit, is by telling people that this organization can better you in whatever way your mind can think of, because you will have the opportunities to be an invested member of this organization. So I did see that there was a question here on the username. Bobby, can you tell me which, I'm sorry, I didn't see this until after we'd already moved on a little bit. So can you tell me, are you looking for the login for JCI USA or the login for jcmember.com? Okay, so for either of them, okay, jcmember.com. So jcmember.com is going to be your email address that you were set up under when you became a member of the organization. So if you don't remember for sure which email address you used, you can talk to your chapter, whoever's in charge of the membership, and they can log on and look for you. If you log in to jcmember.com the first time, or you go to log in, you go to the forgot password link, and then it will walk you through the process of starting your, getting logged in to go to your profile. If you go in and you do the forgot password and it either doesn't recognize your email address or you don't get that email, you want to reach out to whoever's in charge of membership in your chapter to make sure that they have your email address in accurately. The member benefits page is available only after logging in, yes. So to get to the member benefits page on jciusa.org, you need to log in, and then you will find your organization. So you'll find the, under the national organization documents, you'll there's a national organization documents folder, and then you can find JCI, or you can find the United States from there, and then those member benefits are in a folder within the USA's information. Thanks for that question, Stephanie. Does anyone else have any other questions of things we went over, or things maybe you were hoping to go over that we didn't discuss tonight? Okay, great. So thank you again, everybody. Oh, Shoot for Success question here, Stephanie. More info about Shoot for Success. So Shoot for Success, there is contact information for all of the national programs, again, in that jciusa.org. Within the national documents folder, you can find the program managers for all of those. And I can also shoot you that information. So if my email's up here right now, if you want to email me and just let me know that you want Shoot for Success information, I can send you the email address for the program manager for that. Training resource specifically for the JC member website. There is not a specific training resource for JC member website. Really, once you get into it, it's pretty user-friendly. So if there are, I know that there was at least one webinar that was held shortly after the new website was, or the new jcmember.com was rolled out. So I would check the YouTube page. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm sorry to not actually know the answer to your question here, but I do believe that there is a training, a webinar that was held on jcmember.com on YouTube. If there's not, and there's any additional questions, Justin is the guru on jcmember.com, being in charge of membership, but I'm also happy to help you with anything if you get stuck. But I would encourage you specifically for jcmember.com just to log in and poke around in there a little bit and see what you can find. It is very user-friendly and pretty responsive. So hopefully that answered your question. Thanks for asking, Julia. And thank you, Stephanie and Bobby, for your questions. Does anyone else have anything else? All right, so again, thank you all for attending tonight and for taking the time to follow up on what the webinars that are happening and for utilizing these resources that are provided to you with your membership. I encourage you to continue watching the webinars and to see what else you might be able to join in on and to utilize these tools that we talked about specifically. Just a quick reminder that the regular registration cost for Myrtle Beach will close this week, so make sure you have registered for Myrtle Beach if you're intending to go to that. Hopefully I'll get to meet many of you there. And if you have any questions, my email is twood@jciusa.org, as you can see, or you can contact Membership Director Justin at jwutzke, WUTZKE, at jciusa.org. Again, you can see that there, but just in case anyone doesn't have access to the screen. And let us know if you have any questions or concerns. As always, we're here to help as we possibly can. So with that, I'm not seeing any additional questions, so we will go ahead and wrap up tonight. And thank you all again for being here.